Good morning.
Very appropriate tone to wake my ass up, man. What a wonderful day and night yesterday was.
It really was. It was a day full of impact. And for me, it was a day full of JA. Started up in West Palm Beach and got the opportunity to kick off Global Entrepreneurship Week with them and spoke to a library full of students. And what an experience it is to be in front of, 15 to 18-year-olds and talking to them, because the attention span is quick. But it was a fantastic opportunity. Congratulations to Fifth Third Bank, which was a sponsor of theirs, and just great people from that JA branch up there. And, I did make a kid stand up for the entire presentation.
I was hoping you would say it. So talk to me about, because today's content, we're going to talk about working a room, networking. Yeah. We have some tips, but being on stage when someone's in the front row sleeping.
Yeah, it was, there was a kid in the front row who decided that he was just not into it. And I originally tried to get him engaged. I could tell that he was kind of fooling around with his friends or whatever. So I tried to give him an easy question. He was like, I don't want to answer it. So I worked him through answering the question, and then I moved on with the presentation, and he went to sleep. I mean, sleep. Like, he's in front of me, eyes closed, mouth open, sleeping. And I was like, all right, going back to my football days, like, if that ever happened in a meeting, I just made guys stand up and said, hey, it's fine. It happens. Don't worry about it. But, you're not going to sleep. I'm not going to let you sleep. Not going to happen. So it's what I did. I just, had him wake up, had somebody wake him up. And I said, hey, go do me a favor and stand up, please. And he was like, stand up. And I'm like, yeah, stand up. I was like, look, happens. People fall asleep. No big deal. But I'm not going to allow you to sleep through the presentation. Like, we're all here for a reason. So let's be about our business here. And he looked at me. He's like, you want me to stand the whole time? And I was like, yeah, you're going to stand the whole time. And sure enough, he stood the entire presentation, and he was there, and he did not sleep anymore.
So, I spoke to Jake about it, last night. And we discussed the fact that high schoolers think that that's like a badge of honor. Like, I'm too cool for school and I'm going to show you that I don't need to pay attention. You made an impact on that whole room by calling that dude out, because it's rude. It's just rude,
It was, and look, like, they're all kids, so like there were some kids that were really engaged with it, and there were some that were kind of, I could tell we're having a hard time or whatever. We're messing with their friends. But to me, the thing that really made me feel good was at the end, I went by section of the room and said, hey, I'd just like for somebody in each of these sections to give me one of their takeaways. And there was way more than one person from each section that wanted to give a takeaway, that wanted to share something that they learned while they were there. So that I was like, all right, cool. They got it, which was fun.
Well, I will publicly say I am proud of you for early in your career giving it back, man, because that's for me is what the absolute most important thing. So continuing the JA, look at
so it's funny, Jay, because I was really unsure about like how to handle the situation. I was like, this kid's gonna go tell his guidance counselor that I got bullied him, or like, what's about to happen here? So
it's unbelievable, man.
Yeah.
So continuing, last night, yesterday we had Lori Solarillo on the show. She's always great. We talked about the event that we were putting on last night. It was year 2 for me, co-chairing it. It was me who they came to say, hey, what do you think about upping this event? And so I took on the challenge. You had some co-chairs. Last year was amazing. This year, boom. I mean, completely out of the park in terms of setup, people, So got some cool pictures that I want to roll through. Number one, shout out to the Queen, Lori Solorillo. What an amazing job she does driving business people to do shit for nothing. So,
yeah, it was awesome to see her last night. It was the unbelievable event. I mean, the meatballs might have been the home run of the night. So
it's incredible. So there were lots of great people. It was a really proud moment for me to be there with you guys.
absolutely, yeah, it was awesome to be together, the three of us, and have the whole On the Ball crew there together.
So there were lots of folks that I'll mention, but the ladies came out to support. Danielle Shea made an appearance.
Yeah, I mean, that's the first time that I think everybody's been in a room together for sure an event, maybe for a holiday party or something, but like for an event, that was the first time we've all been together, which is cool.
It was super, super cool. So not in any order, but we honored the mayor. The mayor was fantastic.
He was fantastic. He was unbelievable when he got on stage to accept his award. He was great.
So amazing. We had lots of friends in the room. But one of my co-chairs, Aiken, who was on the show on Friday, Aiken brought his friend Channing Crowder. Now, I know Channing from way back when he started in radio. He and I did some stuff with his the guy that runs his business, Johnny Williams. First of all, he could not have been more gracious in speaking to us and hanging for a little while. Then he did his thing on stage, which was amazing. But when he got up, he gave away we auctioned off a fishing cruise with him, and he's known as a big fisherman, whatever. In like 1 minute, he dropped 15 F-bombs.
I mean, in one sentence, it was like every other word that he was
fucking this, you know, and everybody in the room, it was like, this is great.
Yeah.
It became the theme of the night. Like Lori gets up and goes, you better fucking spend money, man.
Yeah, I mean, and you know, and I mean, Andrew got up there and dropped a motherfuck. So like, I was
CEO of City Furniture gets up there and drops an F-bomber.
Everybody started engaging in the cuss words, which was very entertaining.
So Shay, show me the rest of the pictures because I got a list of people I'll name. So our friend, our client, Kevin Jean was there, just one of the greatest networks. Our friend, our client, Matt DeGregio came with his wife. They joined us at the table. It was a wonderful dinner, wonderful cigars and football afterwards. My condolences to the Philly fans. But the most important piece is this thing that we created a year ago called The League. It's low investment, high touch, high involvement. $1,000 a year gets you involved in all of these events with all of these great gentlemen. We raise a shit ton of money. If you want more information, reach out to me, reach out to Casey Delapena, Casey, kudos to you, man. You did a great job. You and Robin and the whole JA team did great. So I'm just going to throw out some more names. Bob Goldfarb, way to be there. Mitch Ziffer, last minute addition, he came. Michael from Profile, Ed Dykes from and Jesse from Weston Jewelers, Charles Cartwright, and obviously City Furniture, Andrew Koenig, and Chaz Warrington from Dex. What an
Manish was there as well, which I was surprised to see. So it was great to see Manish.
There were lots of folks. I could not mention them all. I think we had 270 something people there.
It was a great room.
I know Aiken's back to do it again next year. I'm back to do it again next year. So you'll be hearing from us. Thank you all. We raised money. We had a good time. We smoked, we drank, we networked, which is what we're going to talk about today. So give me wake up music, please.
Wake up, everybody. Get up, get up, get up, get up. Wake up. Come on, come on. Wake up, everybody. Teach a new way. Maybe then they'll listen what you have to say. Wake up, everybody. No more sleeping in bed. No more about to thinking, time for thinking ahead. Come on.
So, these events are back in vogue. And it used to be a big topic that I would teach my team how to work a room. I pulled this list and it was comical to me. 16 tips for becoming a master networker. Most of them, I wouldn't do any of them. So, where are people getting the direction? So I want to hear from you. And today together, the Huddle, all of us want to put the things together that make you a master networker.
Yeah. So this is interesting to me because when I got into the business world, the virtual networking was already happening. LinkedIn was already happening as a way to virtually network. So that became my primary source. I still did the chamber events. I went to the breakfast. I was where I was being told I was supposed to be, but it was proven to me by doing both that the virtual was way more effective than the in-person. But I do think you have to do both. I think last night's event was like, if you weren't at that event last night, you missed out on the opportunity to be in a room full of really special people that you have the opportunity to meet. But if you try to walk into that room blind, I think you're at a disadvantage. So to me, the number one rule to doing networking, whether it's digital or in person, is do the research.
Do the research.
Know who's going to be in the room. Know what your connection to them could be. What's a good possible starter to have that conversation? So like, to me, who are the people I'm trying to get to as research? And what is the one nugget that I can use? Is it a commonality between mutual connections, or do we share some kind of shared experience that I can leverage for a conversation?
So really awesome, really cool. I'm going to sort of go a different route and say, for me, it was always about being memorable, like being seen in that room last night. Even if you didn't talk to anybody, you don't know who's watching you. You don't know what the dynamic of the room is. 275 people there. You can't jump in the ocean and try and meet everybody. So being memorable, and this is what I would tell my people. I go, listen, you walk into a room, stand on the side, look, you can tell who the influencers are. Mm-hmm. You can tell Michael Udine was an influencer.
Yeah.
There were all people around him. When you see that happening, those are the people you make your way to.
Right.
Walk over to say, and I would do this as genuine. This is the other rule, is be yourself and be genuine. I walk up and say, I don't know what the story is, but it seems like everybody wants to talk to you. What are you talking about?
So you said something that I think is another principle that should go on the list, which is be targeted. Yeah. Don't try to meet everybody. Don't be the guy in the room or the gal in the room that's trying to shake everybody's hand and having a 30-second conversation with them and trying to move through collecting business cards and collecting handshakes. Like, be very targeted and know who you want to try to have a conversation with. And once you're there, make it valuable. Be invested in them and not, don't be the one who's talking the entire time.
So shame on me. I did not shout out Dan Nelson, who was one of the first people I saw last night, but the room was gigantic. Lots of buzz, lots of stuff happening with the silent auction and then dinner. But, he went and met close to 10 people that he met for the first time in person. So let's unpack this. Sort of do the research, know who's in the room, be targeted, yes, be genuine, be yourself. When you meet somebody, it is absolutely critical to follow up. I can't tell you how many times I have been in a room when I've had a relevant conversation with somebody, never hear from them again. A fucking waste of time. It's like, seriously, so if you can't follow up after a brief meeting like that, then why would I trust you to do anything for me? If you're already showing me up front, you can't do that. There was a guy that I used to do business with, hilarious. If you would pass him in the hallway, he'd send you a note. Hey, great seeing you in the hallway. But he was so programmed to follow up, and follow up virtually is so easy now. You can follow up with a GIF or a video or whatever. So, it's, Jay Katari with a home run. Look at this.
So, yeah.
This
Know
is a
when to leave the conversation. Don't overstay the conversation.
Yeah, some people think you got to be married for the whole night. It's like, dude, it's nice talking to you. Let's follow up. Man, I
Yeah.
love that. So,
Staying
but
in the topic of that conversation, I think it's important to ask the right questions. And what are the
yes,
right questions? It's not the like random, like, how are you doing? Or like, what's new? Like, be specific. Like, what's happening with your family right now? Like that question for me last night unlocked something about somebody that I've known for a couple of
you can
years now.
share it. You can share it.
Yeah,
It's worth
so like I ran into Don Silvestri. I said hello. We kind of were catching up about basic things, and I asked him very specifically, "What's going on with your family right now?" That led to me finding out that him and his wife foster kids, and I then dove in to like, how did you get into fostering kids? When did that happen? How many kids have you fostered? What's that experience like? Raising kids and then having them get adopted by other people. I was in, and we had an unbelievable conversation that, oh, yes, I can follow up with him today on, hey, thanks for sharing that information with me. But I learned something new about somebody that I knew already, and it fed the relationship, and it fed the connection between the two of us.
So there's so much that goes into, doing the event, going out and doing the event. I took that philosophy and looked at LinkedIn as a 24-hour event like last night. No geographical boundaries. There's people coming and going, and you can virtually walk up to people all the time. But, I use this as one of my words of the year, which, by the way, clue, it's November 15th. We'll be talking about word of the year again for you. But, the idea is I'm very intentional.
Yep.
Like I know I set the filter of who I want to come in, and I know that I want OQP, only quality people.
Yep.
So if I meet somebody, my agenda is to meet somebody who is of quality and to do one other thing, which is the game changers, help them first.
Right.
Which is most people go out into the world going, what can I grab? Mm-hmm. Who can I meet to do business with? And their mentality is all me, 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 me. We call it the opera, the idea that if you shift your focus and jump into it and say, hey, I'm a career networker. Who can I introduce you to? Or what's a target audience for you? Or what's the most exciting project you're working on? And what can I take off your plate? I mean, simple stuff like that separates you from everybody else from saying, well, I work with such and such and we're the best and we have the greatest solution. And what?
Yeah.
And this is what attracted me to Matt DiGregorio. Matt was one of the few people who inbound started talking, and he said, I really dig what you're doing. I want to introduce you to 3 people.
Yep.
What? Somebody give to get. Now,
Yep.
That philosophy, people said give to get is you're counting. I'm not counting. I just give because I know. And
you know you're going to get. I mean, that was the conversation last night. I mean, Andrew got on stage, AK got on stage and talked about, why people give and how everybody in the room knew that if you give and when you give and if you do it consistently, the way that it boomerangs back, the way that it creates that return for you. And that's not why you're doing it. That's just when you do it the right way, that's what happens. And that's a part of the follow-up too, I think. Like if you're going to be a master networker and you're going to have an unbelievable network that you can connect people to, if you say in that, hey, you know what? I know somebody that you should be introduced to. I'm going to introduce you. You better introduce them then. Right. That's the quickest way to burn that relationship is to say you're going to introduce somebody and then not do it.
Well, I speak about this in life. Whatever you say
do ratio.
Do it. The say-do ratio, which people bullshit all the time. One of the things, and this is the most significant of all, is people think that they put on their business hat. I'm at a business event and they change who they are to fit the role of what they think they should be.
Right.
Channing Crowder didn't do any of that, man. Channing Crowder showed up as Channing Crowder, man. Yep. And he didn't care who was there. He didn't care what judgment. It was like, I'm Channing Crowder. This is who I am. And like when we got up for the league, everybody who did that, And the mayor yells out, "Hey, Jenny Crowder, fuck you." You know, I was pissed in my pants. Because you know what? There's the mayor being genuine too. Be who you are. Don't think that you need to act like, because your tribe will grow with the people that are supposed to be part of it. And not everybody in your tribe is going to do business with you. This is the misnomer, is that, oh, you know, my scorecard last night is I have 10 leads.
Right. No. How many relate that to me should be, you know, in the principles of make it about the relationship. Don't make it about your business. Don't make it about their business. Make it about the relationship first. If you network that way, it's going to create better quality connections, which lead to better quality opportunities.
I'll leave you with this, and I think it's really important, is that when you leave an impression on people, you never know when it comes back. Right. Jake said to me on the way home last night, he goes, "Dad, it's unbelievable. By the time I get to say my last name, people go, oh yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You know, that doesn't happen overnight. What does happen overnight? If you do or say something stupid. Yeah. So if you go to these events and you drink too much and you get rowdy and you say something out of school, you know, be careful. You know, your genuine self is enough, but there is some decorum that comes with it. All of this goes into building reputation, personal brand marketing, you know, and so when we work with people, you know, they go, "Oh, can you help me build my brand?" You already have a brand. Yep. The only thing is we're going to give you a bigger stage to talk about it. You know, how many people came up to me last night and said, "Unbelievable job putting this event together." Now, I didn't do it alone, you know, and I said, thanks. It was a team thing, but that was an impression I left on people that who knows where that goes. You take 275 people, you put them, you know, in a room and show them me at the microphone, if you could.
I took that one out. Sorry.
Yeah.
This is what happens.
An executive decision on what he would and would not show this morning. It's not a good picture.
I had the opportunity, because I chose to give my time and my energy and my ideas to build this event. I had the opportunity to stand up in front of 275 people and welcome them to this event and further my brand by saying, guys, this is why I did this, man. I want to help 70,000 kids. This is important to me. And it was really fun, you know? So, you know, when I look at what the takeaways were, you know, amazing people, amazing, raising money. We had fun. It was cool. So any last words on networking, my son?
Just be genuine. Make it genuine. That's the one thing that has served me well in the 4 years that I've been doing it now. Really, though, in the history of my career, like I look back and I said this the other day, every job I got, you know, I got fired lots of times in football. Every job I got was because of a relationship I had developed. It was because of my network. And I cultivated such a network that when I left football, I continue to get opportunities brought to me to try to bring me back that I say no to. So if you build it the right way, it lasts forever, regardless of what's happening. That's what it's about.
Well, Shay's getting some love, man.
Yeah, I love it. Awesome.
But great day. Let me leave with this one thought. I know we're in overtime, but early in my career, when there was no LinkedIn and no social way to do it, right, I decided to get involved in philanthropy. Why? Because if you look around the room, if you look at the boards of all of the charities, whichever one you decide to get involved, those are the rainmakers in every community. Those are the people who get involved. Those are the people who are presidents and CEOs of companies. So what I did was I went and I didn't ask for anything. I just did. And then people started tapping me on the shoulder and they go, "Who are you, man? We see you're doing a lot. What's going on?" One of those people was Wayne Huizenga, who they talked about last night. Now, the younger generation doesn't really remember Wayne. Wayne was the entrepreneur of entrepreneurs. Yep. He started with one garbage truck, then bought another. And they talk about a guy, you know, Andrew family, really tight with him. We'll be doing some honoring of Wayne Huizenga, but it is all about what you give and it's all about who you are. Way to go, Paula Bird, servant leadership. Thanks for being here, everybody. Thanks for your contribution. Make it an unbelievable Tuesday because it's terrific. Now it's time to get down to business.
Please don't worry about me. I'm about to let my heart speak. My friends keep telling me to leave this. So let's get down to business. Let's get down to business.